Don Charles is still adamant that Oleksandr Usyk is a cheat. Now look, I find this super ridiculous. But before I give you my opinion, this is a sit-down conversation on TalkSport, and this is what Don Charles had to say about the whole situation.
Do you still think that Usyk is a cheat?
Pardon me?
Do you still think Usyk
in the first fight? Yes.
Yeah.
100 million%. You know, gentlemen, we're living in the days where you have to be politically correct. Yeah. I know what I saw. I was 2 meters away from when the incident happened. Let's, you know, I'll have a panel. Let's get a panel. Let's look at it. If you have no reasons to hate on us, on Daniel Dubois, and just go by
just to be
also
clear.
depending on what the rules are.
I struggle with that.
The rules are not that clear.
I'll tell you why I struggle for it.
Look, guys, what is wrong with Don Charles? Like, seriously, what is wrong with Don Charles? Because, look, the argument would always stay whether the shot was a low blow or not, right? Some say it was a low blow. Some say it wasn't a low blow. I think it was a low blow. Let me put it that way. Because as you can see there, I think the shot comes from low to up. So depending on where you sort of stop the video, if you freeze frame the video, you could see, you know, in this situation, for example, the shot is on a belt line, right? You can see the shot is on a belt line, but the shot came from low and then came up. But let's just let the professionals do their job. The referee said it was a low blow. The referee gave Usyk time to get rest, to recover from the low blow, and then continue the fight. The referee, in his discretion, the power that he has in that full circle, gave Usyk the time. It wasn't Usyk that gave himself the time. So to say that Oleksandr Usyk is a cheat, after Daniel Dubois had the opportunity to stop Usyk, by the way. Daniel Dubois had the opportunity to stop Usyk after Usyk got the time to recover. Daniel Dubois couldn't do it. Daniel Dubois then, was in that ring. He didn't implement his game plan. Usyk turned the fight around. A fight that Usyk was winning, by the way. So it wasn't like Daniel Dubois was pummeling Usyk. You know, it wasn't like Dubois was on top in the fight. Dubois was losing the fight on points until that low blow happened. And then Usyk came back and turned it up a notch. And Dubois couldn't keep up. And Dubois gave up and he quit in that fight. So after all of that, and then we saw what happened in the second fight, right? We saw exactly what happened there. We saw this shot land and we saw Daniel Dubois on his backside. And once again, he decided not to get up from that fight, from that shot. And that was the end of the fight. So for Don Charles to sit there and keep saying the same thing again and again and again, it's just ridiculous. It makes no sense, right? It's been some time now since the first fight. The second fight has happened. Everyone in the world knows that Daniel Dubois was beaten fair and square, both in the first fight and in the second fight. So to sit down here and to go on about Oleksandr Usyk is a cheat, it's just something that I do not get my head around. I just can't fathom it, that Don Charles is still holding on to a grudge of something that happened some years ago in a fight where they had the opportunity to redeem themselves in the second fight. So if it was a low blow, if Daniel Dubois was such a good fighter, if Daniel Dubois could land the same shot, why did he not land this shot after Usyk got back? Don, please tell me. If Don Charles is watching this video, I want you to answer my question, Don. If you train Daniel Dubois to be this incredible fighter, when he landed that shot in the first fight, when he landed this shot, right, and Usyk got the opportunity to get up, why didn't Daniel Dubois land the same shot again? Please tell me, Don. Tell me, Don Charles, because I don't understand it. I don't understand it because you're making it seem like Oleksandr Usyk, lied that there was a low blow. Daniel Dubois hit him low. We all saw it. Depending on where you pause the video, the shot came from low to up. And the referee said that it was a low blow. It wasn't Usyk that whispered into the referee's ears to tell the referee that it was a low blow. It was the referee in his own discretion with his own power that said, Usyk, take 5 minutes to recover from that shot. And then after that, what did Daniel Dubois do, Don Charles? What did your fighter do after the low blow landed and Usyk came back? Usyk got up. What did your fighter do? He did nothing. He literally was in there, didn't know what he was doing. He was flustered. Usyk turned it up a notch. Usyk started doing things differently. Usyk started, throwing that jab differently. Usyk started to land that left hook. Usyk started putting the pressure on Daniel Dubois, and Daniel Dubois could not fight on the back foot. And he got on his knee, and he gave up. That is what happened. That is what Don Charles needs to be, focusing on, about getting Daniel Dubois out of that mind state of not being able to, recover when he faces adversity. That was Daniel Dubois', chance to go, do you know what? There's something wrong here. And that is, Don Charles says, as a trainer, that's what you're meant to do. You're meant to train your fighter to overcome every scenario. But instead, what we saw was your fighter giving up in the first fight. And then, when he had the opportunity in front of 94,000 people at Wembley, one of the biggest fight in British boxing history in terms of fighting for the undisputed champion, your fighter could not overcome Usyk. He did everything. Usyk made Daniel Dubois look like a novice. He outboxed him for 5 rounds, and then he landed some of the most incredible left hook I've ever seen in boxing to drop Daniel Dubois. And once again, your fighter Dubois could not get up. So, because to me, a cheat is someone that, is not able to do the things that Usyk is able to do. To me, a cheat is someone that got lucky because the referee gave him a chance, and then in the second fight, or even after that, Daniel Dubois landed the same shot again. I'll go, yes, Usyk is a cheat because that first shot, he cheated himself out of the first shot, but he cannot cheat himself out of the second shot. If Daniel Dubois landed the same shot, I would have gone, yes, Don Charles is right, Usyk cheated in the first instance. But apart from that shot, that low blow shot, Daniel Dubois was not able to land any significant, body shot in the first fight after that, and then in the second fight. So what are you on about? Like, what is Don Charles still on about Usyk being a cheater? Like, I don't understand it. Someone please get in the comment section and let me know what you think Don Charles is thinking about here, because I don't think that it makes sense to anyone, right? Nobody looks at what Don Charles said and say, this makes sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me at all. And by the way, Don Charles has been let go by the Daniel Dubois team, right? Daniel Dubois' father and whoever is in Daniel Dubois' camp said that Don Charles is not the right person to take them forward. So they've let him go. And look, at that time I made a video saying that it was cruel because I think Don Charles did right by Daniel Dubois. I think Don Charles trained Daniel Dubois well. They became a world champion together. They had some really good wins under their belt and they did well. And I did not agree with the fact that they let him go. But saying that Oleksandr Usyk is a cheat, right? For Daniel Dubois landing this low blow, it's just ridiculous. It just doesn't make any sense, right? It doesn't make any, nobody agrees with you, Don. I'm sorry, but nobody agrees with you. Your fighter is just not good enough against Usyk. Just accept it. You lost it fair and square. You got beaten at Wembley. You got beaten in Poland, and that's okay. Like, this reminds me of Tyson Fury and his team making excuses because they lost to Oleksandr Usyk. It's just the same thing again, over and over again. You lost, and it's okay to lose, right? You beat Joshua, and you went on and talk about how you beat Anthony Joshua, and you got the credit for it. But you lost against the best of this generation in Oleksandr Usyk, and just accept that. But to go onto national radio and say that Usyk is a cheat, it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous, Don. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You lost fair and square. Accept that, and that's the end of it. But look, guys, get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Don Charles claiming that Oleksandr Usyk is still a cheat. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below.